It is the Brink. Welcome everybody once again to your favouriteest podcast in the entire world as we bring you episode 46 of the rebooted, rebranded podcast. I can probably really say rebooted. I mean, it's been over a year now, but hey, it works and rolls off the tongue quite well. Hope your week has been fantastic. We've got another great episode for you today. Plenty to get to. New material, old material, everything else in between. And as we always generally start off with, we have a bit of a look back at the week in terms of our listenership stats. Who's been listening? Special shout out to everybody around the world. As always, Australia, hello. Hobart, I'm looking at here. Melbourne, great. Launceston even. I thought we'd scare you guys off by the fact that we bag you out a lot. But also New Zealand. Big week for our New Zealand listeners. Auckland, a big base. They're obviously trying to get an update on the election. We don't have Nick on this week, so I think we're going to lose a bit of a New Zealand listener this week. And also the UK, again, Canada, fantastic. And the Cook Islands. Hello to our Cook Islands friends. I wasn't aware that you guys listened, but we appreciate any sort of listeners coming from other parts of the world. And Cook Islands is a new country this week to join us. So hello. And hope that we can give you another podcast this week that's up to the standards that you're perhaps used to.
Well, it's been a few weeks since we've had this guy on the show, and I don't really know why. He's just doing shit. It's Noah. Hello, Noah. Noah Groves. What's up?
I'm ever so impressed with your ability to jump straight from eating garlic bread into an introduction to a podcast. So.
I'm known as for many things. One is eating a slice of garlic bread and then
jumping straight in. I was
smooth transition into doing a podcast. I mean, I can eat it on air if you want me to. There's still two pieces.
I've seen the garlic bread, so I wasn't expecting we were going to just jump straight in. But
don't worry, I'm hungry. I'm looking at that garlic bread. But you know, just catching up. We were going to play some board games at some point. We might still today. I don't know yet. We've got a few hours to go.
We're waiting for our palmy.
The Survivor episode might go for a long time. Who knows? But I mean, you how's been back? You're still hating it?
Yeah.
When are you leaving again? You're on a road trip with me, hopefully, aren't you?
Yeah. If I'm still in the country, then yeah.
2.5 weeks.
I'm actually leaving tonight.
Fair enough. Have your palmy and leave.
Yeah.
I'm used to that with people.
The Last Supper.
That's a good Last Supper. But
oh, yeah.
I mean, you've adjusted back. You're honestly in that zone where you're kind of like, oh, it doesn't even feel like I left.
Yeah, a little bit. It was weird when I first got back, but now I feel like I've adjusted back to it a bit more, and everything seems a bit more normal. The accents and that were so jarring when I got back. But
what's the biggest change in Snug since you've been back? Just don't mind me. I'm actually going to eat some garlic bread on it. Why not? Keep talking. I'm hungry.
The biggest change in Snug since I got back is now the neighbours have doof parties on a Tuesday night, which I'm not invited to, and I thought I was the biggest thing to come out of Snug, but
well, you were, and you left.
Lost my status. Yeah, the doof parties late into the night on a Tuesday, so Snug is becoming a hip place apparently.
Are they new neighbours? Like, were the same ones that were there? I mean, do people leave Snug once they're there?
Once you enter, you never leave. I have no idea. I've never met them.
You've never met there's like 3 people live in Snug.
We had good neighbours before, but these ones I don't know if we've met. Just annoying children and stuff. But
who have doof on a Tuesday?
Yeah, it's like Snug's gone up in the world. I wasn't invited. Not that I even liked the music.
Maybe Isobar moved
to Snug.
I mean, it's not there anymore, is it not? Yeah, I mean, by all means, should this road trip hopefully happen, Brink Unleashed 8 coming soon, more details, but first point of call is basically going to be Snug, because I'm going to come to your house to pick you up, and we're going to do a little trip around Snug. You can show me the highlights of Snug.
That's the whole thing.
The whole? The whole of Tasmania, Snug.
Yeah, it's the heart of Tasmania.
The capital. This guy was good. Very professional. I've really taken a step back here on the Brink.
We've gone from the studio to your couch eating garlic bread.
It's not like this is live. It's not like I can just wait till I'm eating it and press record. Just doing it now. This is why we're not picked up by anyone.
I'm just going to...
Tonight when we're eating our palmies...
Drink my coffee.
We're going to record... This is what the Brink Unleashed 8 will be. It's just us driving and eating. Snug. Just let me finish this piece here. What... is it... I mean, you literally were in places like Paris and London and like all these glamorous places. You're in Snug right now. Like, has anyone in Snug ever been to Europe before?
Yeah, I don't think anyone in Snug has been to Hobart before. But
Europe? Where's that?
Yeah, don't remind me.
Can I buy more garlic bread? Is good. When I come to Snug, can I buy a Snug postcard?
There's a post office. So.
Well, there must be a postcard.
Yeah, there might be. I can have a look at the post office.
One thing we need to do on this trip, we need to get photos of us standing under signs of town names. We need the photo of us under the sign of Snug. Welcome to Snug.
Yeah.
Like, that's iconic. That's the cover. That's a DVD cover right
welcome
there.
to Snug.
Welcome. This is going to be Brink Unleashed 8. We travel around Snug for 4 days.
Paris, London, Copenhagen, Snug.
No, I know where I'd rather go. No, I just this piece. A couple of weeks ago, when we were professional and we didn't eat garlic bread on air.
You.
Shut up. You had some questions for me. You found some questions online. Now, you found the book called...
You asked me questions.
Yeah, but then you found more online that you asked me in the car on the way to get our
but not in the episode.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean.
Garlic bread's going to your head.
You found this book called Emergency Questions by Richard Herring, and I asked a few of these to Dakota the other week.
Great comedian.
Love him. One of my best friends. I don't know where I was going with that. He's garlic bread. We were part of the garlic bread aficionado Facebook group. But this is basically 500 and plus more questions of just the weirdest variety, which I asked some to Dakota, which he gave me a very honest answer with one of them.
He's now in prison.
He's now in prison for rape.
He's coming out with a new one too. Just plugging his own stuff.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Christmas emergency question.
Oh God, I've got to buy another one. Jesus Christ, Richard Herring.
I mean, you can afford it because you did just print it out.
Well, he just like $7 versus 20.
Taking a whole new thing with ebook by just getting the cheaper ebook and printing.
I'm still like a physical guy. I like it in physical form. I've got it in a PDF on my phone, but like, shut up.
You bought it. You bought it. You
do with what I want.
You didn't get it illegally. So.
Exactly. I actually paid for this one. It's not like what I do with other shows. So these are the most random questions. So I'm just going to pull a few out here because there's 500 of them. All right. You ready for these?
Yeah.
If you had the power to bring about world peace, what would you need weapons manufacturers to give you in order not to use your power? So basically, what would...
What?
Let's read that out again and try and understand this. If you had the power to bring about world peace, what would you need weapons manufacturers to give you in order not to use your power?
Oh, so like they're doing it so that I don't...
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not giving me weapons, they're just giving me stuff so that I don't...
He's a palmy for life.
Yeah, because I'm going to bring back world peace and get rid of weapons. Yeah, okay.
It's an interesting question.
Oh, what would I need? Because I was thinking I'd get weapons, but...
Don't... The word is at peace. Don't do anything, I'll shoot you.
Yeah, like bazooka or something, but... what would I want?
I don't know. What do you want? You want to win the lottery, apparently.
Maybe I would get them to give me Snug. They've got it. I want Snug, so I control the party.
Give me Snug.
Yeah, like no, I get to control everything in Snug. They can figure it out, and I control the parties.
You literally could have anything in the world, and you choose Snug.
Yeah,
like you could have New York, you could have Copenhagen, you could have Paris.
Close to home.
Snug. All right. Let's be honest. If you want Snug, you probably have it right now.
I probably do own it.
I reckon you do, except you just don't get invited to the parties. What is the best thing you have ever won? That's a good question.
Oh, when I was 7, I entered a colouring competition in at the Middleton County Fair or something like that.
The Middleton County Fair?
Or the Middleton Folk Fair.
What's Middleton?
It's a suburb.
Of Snug. Snug as suburb.
Yeah, it was a colour in the scarecrow, and I did it. I wasn't expecting any winning. I'd never won a colouring competition before. I won $7.
You could have bought this book. Yeah. $7. That's it. That's the Middleton prize pool.
I mean, for a 7-year-old, that's a lame prize. Like,
do you win $1 per age? Like,
not like a watering gun or like something cool.
$7
in coins.
This Little Doris. Good job, little Noah. You coloured in the lines. Have $7. 7. It's very specific. It's not $10. It's not $5. It's $7.
That was awesome.
Wow. Do sperm have dreams?
God, that's philosophical, isn't it?
Right.
Well, I would say probably more nightmares than dreams.
I've always wondered, like, every time you masturbate, are you committing, like, mass murder?
Yeah. I mean, that's a less controversial opinion than some of them I've heard on this show.
Hello, Dakota. When was the last time you cried? It's literally a question, besides this interview right now.
Oh, really? Probably like 2 months ago.
Aw.
I'm not going to go into it.
Aw. What is the worst Adam Sandler film? The look on his face. Oh, just one?
Well, the problem is I've probably not seen the worst Adam Sandler movie, but Grown Ups 2.
I've only seen Grown Ups 1.
Yeah, stick to that.
I love this question. 369. Can you smell that?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, exactly.
Garlic bread.
Yeah. When you were a child, did you have an imaginary friend?
No, I don't think so.
Do you have one now?
Now I do, because I'm loopy now, but
I'm not real.
no, I had 2 brothers, so I was too busy fighting them for imaginary friends.
Have you ever been to the toilet at the same time as Benedict Cumberbatch?
Well, we live in different time zones, so I'd probably not, really.
That is a great question. Where did your family go on holiday when you were a child?
We were poor.
Snug.
Yeah. Sometimes we travel around Tasmania. Once or twice we went to Sydney, but never anything glamorous like families that went off to like Fiji or something like that.
So you're literally looking forward to driving around Tasmania. Oh, great. Back to the poor days.
Back old days.
Could you live without the internet? Because if you say you can't, you fucking can.
Well, fun fact. At my dad's house growing up, we didn't get internet until I was 19 because we just couldn't. Yeah, make fun of Snug, but they didn't do wires or whatever to there. So I'm being trained at not having internet.
Yeah, I think I had a conversation with someone recently, and it's like we lived in a world without the internet.
Yeah.
Mainly me more so than you, because I'm older than you. But like you would no doubt remember a time.
Not that long ago.
Like I mean, I remember living without the internet. I don't know if I could now, but it's one of those questions you think about. Like in 10 years' time, we're going to have something in our lives that we can't live without in 10 years' time that we are living without right now, and it's kind of interesting to think that. Like you look like how addicted we are to our phones. 10 years ago, like a phone was just for ringing and text messaging. We weren't all the time. And Snake, fucking oath it was for Snake. So what are we going to have in 10 years' time that we can't live with that we are living without right now?
Garlic bread.
Fair call. What is your favourite way to cool down?
God, I hate being hot. Like,
So
I can deal with being cold, but being hot, I just turn into a princess. Yeah. Nice cold beer.
Nice cold
Boring
beer.
answer.
Do you wash your legs when you're having a shower?
Now, this is a funny one because I think this is maybe on the back of the book.
I haven't seen the back of the book. I printed it out.
Because I haven't seen the book until now. I've known about the book. But I asked my friend from Denmark because we were there, and I was asking him some of the ones I asked you. But then I said, "Oh, this is a silly one. Do you wash your legs every time you have a shower?" And he's like, "No." I was like,
I don't.
Because I wash my legs every time I have a shower, and it's just one of those things that no one's ever discussed until this book has come out.
That's why this book's good.
Yeah, I just assumed every single person in the history of showers does that.
The history of showers. There's a book coming soon, The History of Showers, by Noah Groves.
It's better than the book you were going to write. That I'm not going to say the title of, but my mind was blown. Like
So you literally like soap your legs down?
Yeah, because you just assume that, you do something, and you just assume that that's normal.
I don't. I just let
the
water do its
he
thing.
doesn't either.
I mean, it's just they're just those parts like Does anybody leave the house and go, oh shit, I haven't washed my legs?
Okay, well,
Like, we're not women. We don't shave our legs, so I guess we don't really care.
yeah, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm so like must do this, but it's just part of the ritual, the routine. But then here's one. I'm sorry if this friend is listening. I'm not going to say it.
No one's listening.
I'm not going to
I
say
just ate garlic bread on air. No one's listening.
This one's a bit more gross, but we had this debate that the same friend that doesn't wash his legs like you. Also, I found out every time that he pees, wipes his penis with toilet paper. And that blew my mind. I'm like, what?
That's a thing.
Well,
He does.
yeah, he does every time.
Yeah.
Every available time. And now I'm second guessing my entire life because I'm like, am I the only one?
Was he not taught the drip method? Like, to shake it off?
Shake it 3 times.
Any more than it's
then
masturbating?
my debate would be then why aren't there toilet rolls at the urinals? But
Well, that's a very good point. That's a valid point. I mean, like,
then
that's
that
not a
made me
thing.
my
That's
whole
not a
life.
thing.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Because-
I don't. Like,
'cause now I'm
come
like,
on.
is this the shower leg thing?
No. Like, I
didn't know anyone did that.
I know, and actually, I will say he was a former co-host of this show. He actually sat down when he peed.
Lame.
Like, what? I mean, he's gay, but I mean, like, it's...
Oh, edit that out.
No, it's too late.
Vote yes.
But yes, hashtag love is love. Yeah, like, no, that's not a thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you've got time to dip your doodle with a piece of toilet paper, then...
There you go. I was going to say his name. But there you go, friend.
Yeah, I don't know a typical Danish name. Frederick, Prince Frederick. There we
There you
go.
go, Fred.
Wow. Fuck it, I'm asking these. Who is the most inappropriate person you've ever had a sex dream about?
I don't know. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, who?
I had a sex dream about a guy in high school, and hang on, it gets better. Because I went to an all boys high
better.
school.
Oh, yeah.
I went to an all boys high school. I had a sex dream about somebody in one of my classes, and then I told someone who then told another person, and within an hour it was around the high school. Ben had a sex dream about Jonathan. Everybody,
No!
but I learnt my lesson that day.
Oh, that's making me cringe.
I was 13. I don't know.
No, oh my god. So, why did you tell someone?
Because I'm an idiot. Can't you tell that I'd say things without thinking? That's like my thing.
But did you say it as a joke or like, oh, I'm really confused? I had this dream.
No, like it just literally was one of those things in
Like,
conversation.
what did you get
like,
up to the weekend?
Oh, I had a sex dream.
Wrong. He was in my dream.
But like the thing that I think is funny about is like people just assume you have a sex dream. That means like you've had sex dreams about. I can list 100 people I've had sex dreams about. I'm not attracted to probably 95 of them.
You know, unless you do lucid dreaming, you can't really control your dreams.
Exactly.
So-
I mean, God, I'd love to control my dreams. That would
But
be fun.
That's a great, hilariously cringing story. You must have learnt your lesson.
No, I still. I just shared it on air. Do you think I have to learn my lesson? I mean, you know, come on.
Name is Frederick.
Would you rather have a clitoris in the crook between your thumb? Hang on, I'm gonna compose myself. See the word clitoris, and I'll lose it. Would you rather have a clitoris in the crook between your thumb and finger, or have a bionic nose? Why would you want who would want a clitoris? Like, do you get the sensations of a clitoris by rubbing
It's
it?
a good party trick, I guess.
Look at my clitoris.
Bionic nose, because I think I've got a big nose, so maybe I'll get a smaller one.
Like, in all seriousness, like, they need to elaborate more on the question, because, like, if you got the sensations with the clitoris between your...
Then maybe. Do you want me to ask you something?
Yeah, why not? Here's the book.
If you don't want it.
Well, I mean, by all means, quiz the host. I could have eaten my garlic bread now, but, like, you know...
What would the world be worse or better if every man who said they have a man cave was evaporated by a laser? Better or worse?
Worse?
You know, the
because,
people who say, come to my man cave.
well, there's nothing wrong with the man cave. Maybe calling it a man cave is a bad thing. I'd say worse, because, like, I'd know some good people who would be lasered.
Who are your 3 favourite ghosts? Real or, let's face it, fictional?
Casper.
Oh, yeah.
I like Casper. Who doesn't like Casper?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yes. And Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That is a great ghost.
That's a very good ghost. Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's the first time she's been mentioned in about 8 years.
What word are you unable to pronounce out loud?
Oh, God, lots.
Yeah, I know. Egregious.
Where do we begin?
Listen to 007.
Am I not known for the person who can't say words?
Yeah. What's your favourite colour?
Red.
What's the best sound effect you've ever heard?
Ooh.
I like pew.
I like it when people do the lasers from Star Wars and spell it pew pew. They actually spell it P-E-U, P-E-U. I saw a meme with like a person pointing a gun and little speech bubbles that said pew pew. Madonna singing. Die Another Day. Ask it.
Well, you asked when was the last time I cried. Can you name 3 occasions in which you've cheated?
In what context?
Just any cheating, so you can dodge the question. It's any type of cheating.
I'm trying.
Not just about the guy from high school.
I've never physically cheated on a partner.
Read
into that what you will.
Is that the first?
When have I cheated? Well,
We've all cheated on a school test.
I've never cheated on a school test.
No, not cheat, but you just kind of looking over.
I haven't. Oh, seriously,
come off it.
No, I haven't.
Come off.
I honestly haven't. I never looked over. I swear on anything you want me to swear on. Yeah. I did for this gaming stupid channel that I been doing that no one watches on YouTube. I kind of implied that at no point did I edit it and I just left it raw. There was at least one video where I like fucked up and I got pissed off, so I edited it around it to make it look like I restarted it. So that's I know, right? When I've been on diets, I've cheated with food and like, oh, that's not counting because like that was between 3 and 4 p.m. and we know that doesn't count when I eat 5 Big Macs. And God, that's tough. I used to. I don't know if you ever had a Tamagotchi. You mightn't have been too young when the craze was.
I had a Tamagotchi.
But there was that hack that you used to do where you would change the clock and it would age them. So you would come to school and you'd be like, look at my Tamagotchi, I've kept it alive for 83 days. Oh, wow, Ben, you're so cool. And you've literally had it for like a day and they're like dumb 12-year-olds. They can't realise you've only had it a day. But look, there'd be more. That's just on the spot.
If you could turn any one person into a worm, which person would you turn into a worm and why?
Tony Abbott, because you wouldn't have to do much.
Ooh. Would you rather be killed by being shot out of a cannon, dropped into a well, or impaled on a giant spike that you have to sit on top of, but you'd very slowly descend onto it via your anus?
Well, as fun as that sounds, I think we'll pass on the third option.
Shot out of a cannon, surely.
But, like, do I die straight away from the explosion, or do I have to, like, suffer the fall through the air? See, they're not very pleasant options to die, are they? Well, I guess at least with that option, you could see when you're about to die, whereas if you're in a well and it's dark, you don't know when you're going to hit the ground.
You might not die straight away.
True, and then if you're stuck at the bottom of a well, that's kind of bad, broken limbs and everything. So, yeah, cannon.
Are you a racist?
Yes.
Oh, because there's a little note here that says, they'll probably say no, but you might catch one out.
Oh, well, let's be honest. Everyone thinks I am. I'm not really, but, like, I mean... A, people out there think I am if they listen to other shows. B, the word racist has lost all meaning, so technically I probably am based on people's viewpoints. And C, I just wanted to be different and answer that question. I mean, I hate New Zealanders, so I'm racist.
What's the most expensive thing you ever stole?
Ooh. That's a good question. I've never really stolen anything physically except for, like...
You haven't done a lot physically.
No, I'm not a physical person, Noah. It would have to be like downloading. I mean, that's classified as stealing, isn't it? So I downloaded an entire series of a TV show. It was probably worth $200. So physical, like I remember when I went to Salamanca one time and I had the wallets. And remember they used to have like the fake American Express little cards to show you like where they go. So I remember I took one out of the wallet and like kept it. But then I'm not a dishonest person when it comes to that sort of stuff, so I had to, like, make up a story about it. So I'm walking along, and I go, oh, Mum, look what I found on the ground. And she's like, you took that out of the wallet, didn't you? And I'm like, yes. It's like, go return it.
Oh, sad end to that.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's the most embarrassing thing you've done for sexual gratification?
Oh, God. Wow. I don't want to answer that.
Dreams.
Okay, here's a story for you. This podcast going south. Fuck it, you ask it, you get an honest answer. You like?
Oh, I don't want to know.
No, okay, well, you don't want to know.
No, tell me, but I don't want to know.
Okay,
Oh, I don't want to know.
women have
Oh, no.
certain things that they can do to simulate a penis, right? They can just get a carrot, they can get a cucumber. He's got this look at his face right now. He's about to leave the room. I read an article once which basically said, I was like 13, 14 again, 13-year-old Ben,
I can't.
that if you want to like not use your hands, you can get like a plastic bag, fill it with like cream, and put it between couch pillows and have sex. It didn't work. Let's just leave it at that. I've not done anything. I've not like had sex with a sheep or something like that.
I can't handle it.
You asked the question I'm on. What did I say before I put my foot? I don't think before I
At
speak.
least you're honest. All right, let's find a good one to close out on, although that was pretty good.
It's not as bad as what Dakota said the other week. Oh, God. This is why no one listens.
I'm not going to ask the one about murder.
You may as well now. It's not like I've said anything.
Oh, this is an interesting one because I hate people like this. What's your favourite drink? If you found out it was actually made out of wasp urine and always had been, would it still be your favourite? And would you carry on drinking it?
So what is my favourite drink? And then if I found out if it was made out of wasp urine.
Yeah, because there's those people, like, I remember I was in Japan a few years ago and we were eating this pasta and everyone's like, oh, this is a delicious pasta. And then we were with some Japanese people and they're like, oh, yes, that's made out of fish eggs. And then so many people were like, oh, I'm not eating that pasta, so more pasta for me. But they were loving the pasta until they knew what it was made out of.
So I'm one of those people that if I know what it's made out of, I'm a bit skeptical. I'll taste and like, okay, this is fine. If I like it, like if you just told me that garlic bread was made out of like your semen, I'm probably just going to be like, oh, well, it tasted good. Like, I mean, I'm not going to want more. But my favourite drink probably would be, where do I go with these things? Chocolate milk or Coke. Probably chocolate milk. I'm still 8 years old.
And if that was made out of wasp,
I fucking oath I'd still drink it. Like if I think one of these questions you said to me, like, should semen taste like fairy floss or something like that? Like, I think semen should taste like semen because if it tasted like fairy floss, then I don't know where I'm going with that. But like, you know, like if you told me right now that chocolate milk was made out of wasp urine or semen, I've got semen on the mind. Can I just say that would be quite a unique feat that somebody's milked wasps of their urine? And I can't imagine you'd get much out of a little wasp. So that's a big effort to get a bottle of chocolate milk from it.
do you milk anyone out of urine? Can you do that?
If you mistake a male cow for a bull.
Yeah, but will urine come out if you milk it?
I
don't think it
well,
works like that, Ben.
I don't want to answer that.
What was your nickname at school?
Oh, God, I never had a good one. Are we talking high school or primary school? Because they're not nice.
Either.
It's called like fatty and whatever in primary school. It's called like fag and puff and whatever in high school. I never had a
I shouldn't
nickname.
laugh.
No, well, I mean, I like Benny, but that shitted me off. This girl I worked
good
at.
to know.
This girl I worked with at
Benny.
Starbucks used to call me Benjamina. And I mean, I've never really had one. Like
Mine was Poss. Or Possum.
Possum. This guy's called me Cartman because he thought I was fat like Cartman.
If you were a little pig, what would you make your house out of in order to defer the big bad wolf?
Thought I am a big bricks because like I mean
They didn't work.
Yes, it did. That didn't blow down. He knocked his door in.
Oh, I forget the ending.
He went to his chimney and had this catch fire.
I forget the
The
ending.
dumb pigs are the first two. The straw. Who builds a house of straw? Stupid pig. Deserves to get blown down. What is the moral of that story? Like, use bricks to build a house?
I'm just trying to find a good closing one.
story.
Is there actually a person of whom you'd be prepared to drink their bathwater? Who is it? What if they had a really pooey bum that day?
Is that a part of the question?
Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
Even if she had a pooey bum that day?
I could then tell the story about the day I drank Natalie Portman's pooey bathwater. It's a good story to tell. I don't think I'd drink anyone's bathwater. I've got to be honest. Like you were sitting there in your own filth. Like, Baths are good for relaxing. Candles and soap. Wash your legs.
Do you ever worry that you're a character in a computer game operated by some bored teenage deity or alien who is deliberately just making loads of shit happen to you to see what you do?
Real life sim.
Like you're nothing more than an ant under a microscope, and soon he'll be bored and have you killed in a ridiculous way. Because I do.
I've never thought of that. I think my life is the Truman Show a lot of the time, but I've never quite thought about a video game, no.
Oh, this is a hard one for you. If you had to, would you rather give up chocolate or cheese? If you had to.
Chocolate.
Oh.
In a heartbeat. I like chocolate, but I'm not like the biggest. I fucking love cheese more than I love chocolate.
God, I don't know. I want to know. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever tried to squeeze down the drain of a shower?
Hey, okay.
When I was 13, I was told you could simulate with the...
When I was like 6 or 7, I pooed them in the bath.
And then who drank it?
Natalie Portman. But like, the first thought that came to mind was flush it down the toilet, the bath.
You've lived an intro. I think you are a video game character.
But I'm an honest person. This is my problem. Every time in my life I have done something naughty, I've always told my mum about it. I stole money from my mum's wallet. I cried and came back. Mum, I stole money from your wallet. It's okay, Ben. I pooed in the bath.
Why did you do that?
I don't know.
Just to see what would happen.
I can tell you the story about what I did with bubblegum one time in the bath.
No.
But like, instead of flushing it down the drain, I went and got mum. I don't know. Probably my pubes.
But what did you do with the poo? When mum came,
probably cleaned it up.
What did she do though?
Ate it. Like, she probably picked up and flushed it down the toilet.
She had the book and she said, "Oh, now's my chance. There's a pooey bathwater right here."
Pooey bathwater.
I love this one.
Do you want me to ask you some more?
This is a good one.
This all day.
Would you rather have no ears or no dignity?
I already have no dignity, so that's the point of that question.
Okay.
You want to ask
I'm trying to find you a good closing one, but I could never find it.
How do you sleep at night?
A lot of the time I struggle with it.
I don't know if that's like means like just or like do you sleep in your stomach or like
with one pillow.
Always
been one pillow.
One pillow.
2 pillows for computering in bed. 1 pillow for sleeping.
For computering in bed. I've got 4 on my bed, and I have a variety of options for different activities that I use them for.
And only one of them is being used currently.
Plastic bag and. Would you prefer to be a lion for a day or a lamb for a lifetime?
Oh, lion for a day?
I know. Like, why would you want to be a
not a good.
Lambs don't live that long, and then you'd be lamb. You'd be eaten. If you had, you probably read this one already, and you're like, oh, you're going to ask that one. If you had to dig up a corpse of a celebrity who died in 2016 and have sex with it, if you had to, which one would you choose?
David Bowie.
Oh, that's not even a question, isn't it? Do you think the Tim Allen film, The Santa Claus, could ever happen in real life? If you were press ganged into being Santa, would you feel happy or resentful? These questions are amazing.
I mean, I don't have a job, so I'll do it.
Some of these questions that we can't, like, I don't know what Barometer World is. Have you ever been to Barometer World?
It's probably quite regional.
Let's see here. God, these are very regional ones. Do you think it's possible that Postman Pat has had some kind of breakdown and the people of Greendale are just putting up with him out of some kind of misplaced loyalty to his younger self?
I actually watched an episode of Postman Pat the other day with my sister, and that dude, he's got a helicopter now. He's like,
what?
Yeah, he's got he's got a new bed.
The postal service is
he's
working
got a
out
motorbike. Yeah, so I don't know if he's had a breakdown. He's in his prime.
The best one, there's a video went viral for a while, and it was like somebody dubbed over him. So when he's like driving on the street, it's like, nee, nee, fucking yow. And he walks into that room with whoever the redhead, he's like, shut up, you ginger cunt. And like, my dad will always say that. He's like, shut up, you ginger cunt. Sorry for saying the C word twice there. Is sex with a ghost cheating?
I mean, yeah, Ghost was a person.
Good point.
You said you've not physically cheated, but I mean, I think a ghost counts then.
Well, we had Natasha Blasick. She's an actress. I remember we had her on years ago. I think Dakota was on air with me, and there was like a news story that was doing the rounds. Actress claims she had sex with a ghost. She's like a C-grade actor who was like, you know, an extra in an episode of CSI or something like that. But we tweeted her live on air, and she did an interview with us because she told us a story about how she was laying in bed and a ghost had sex with her. I'm like, what, you were raped by a ghost? Like, no, I gave consensual...
Postman Pat, like.
Yeah, anyway. What is the worst emergency you have ever been involved in?
I wish I had, like, a great answer for this.
I survived 9/11 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, worst emergency I've ever been in. I've got it, but I'll tell you off air.
Oh.
No, it's actually nothing involved with me. I was just in the place at the time, but...
You don't want to say it on
No,
there?
it's a long story.
Okay. Are you ever mistaken for a celebrity? Which one? I think you'd be mistaken for Noah Groves from Survivor Oz. A thinner version.
What's that? I'm not mistaken for, but someone said, "Oh, you look just like," you know, the Gruen transfer, that ad.
Yeah.
There's like the weird American guy or something. There's Will Anderson, but
Tom
then there's
Sampson.
Yeah, not him.
I was going to say you look nothing like him. He's like Todd Sampson. He's got his own TV.
Todd Sampson. They've got Will Anderson, but then they've got like this other guy.
Yeah.
It's not really a compliment. I mean, he's rich, but he's like bold, and he's like
he's bold. I said you remind me of Hurley from Lost, so you were a bit offended by
I
that
don't know.
one.
What about you? I don't think I've got the physical features or the face or anything to be a celebrity.
Mine's always been Kyle Sandilands. It's just literally always been like back when I used to have the little bit of facial hair. It was a radio thing as well. Randomly, I was at a party once, and I remember a guy kept saying to me that I looked like I can't remember his name. He was on Home and Away. And I'm like, I look nothing like him, but thank you. I appreciate that. That's a compliment.
Slightly related, but we're getting our whole lives in this episode.
This week on Ben and Noah.
Not really related, but kind of. When I was like 8, 9, 10 maybe, I was at a party where my dad was at, and was actually invited to this one. And this woman, I was like the shy 10-year-old, this woman says, "Oh, what's your name?" "Noah." "Oh, no, that's a lovely name." I said, "No, Noah." And she goes, "Oh, Noah." So from that moment onwards, I went by the name of Noel. Noel Grove.
I used to work at the call center at the Commonwealth Bank, and it was like, you know, oh, thanks for calling Commonwealth Bank. This is Ben speaking. Oh, hi, Dan. It was always Dan.
I don't know how you can get Ben wrong. That's like the name.
Well, there was this little old lady who was like, she was just set on calling me whatever she wanted. Like, oh, thanks for calling Commonwealth. This is Ben. Oh, hi, Lance. I was just wondering, like, Lance, of course, that's what I got. Do you have any good ideas for terrorist atrocities? Tune out now, Asio.
Yeah, don't listen. No, I feel like I had something once.
I was just sitting around.
Yeah, I feel like there was something. No, it's just every time something happens, me and my mum always say, "Oh, this is a diversion. You got to keep an eye out for." Like, they need to use the diversion tactic more, I think.
Yeah, no one realised once they blew up the Twin Towers, like all of South Dakota went missing.
So you do one thing, but then really it's just a front. So you get all the coppers there.
If I was a terrorist, I'd bomb Hobart because no one's expecting it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and like, this is a sad thing to say, but like mass casualties at like whatever little event we have in Hobart, like who's, you know, like, this is really bad. I really hope ASIO are not listening, but like, I will go to an event sometimes, like here in Australia particularly, America it's different, but like, you go to the football at Bell Rive Oval here, and you're like, it'd be so easy to bring a gun in here right now and just shoot the shit out of it. I'm like, that's bad timing considering what's just happened this week.
We're just lucky we live in a country where that doesn't happen.
Exactly. So, and we're lucky that Noah and I aren't thinking that way. Here's actually a good one for you. And like, you sort of have told me about some of these before, but that's more Airbnb.
Uh-oh.
What is the worst experience you've ever had in a hotel?
Oh, Again, I wish I had a good story. I guess I was recently in Malaysia and there was no hot water, and it was kind of in the slums. But I think I've been quite fortunate. In a hostel, we had the biggest snore I've ever heard in my life. None of us got to sleep till like 4 a.m. To the point where my friend sent me a message on my phone in the hostel saying, should we go and wake him up? But I don't know. I wish I had a better story for that.
If you had to have sex with an item of food, if you had to, which food would you choose? Do you think it would be morally wrong to eat the food after you've made love with it, or unhygienic at least?
Morally wrong? No, because, I mean, what's worse? Throwing it in the bin? That's worse for the fruit.
I think it's worse if you served it up to someone.
Yeah, that's like Hannibal Lecter type stuff.
Hi, enjoy my watermelon.
Watermelon?
Giving him an watermelon.
Boston bun.
Pretty attractive looking piece of food. It's very beautiful. Boston bun. I'm never having Boston bun with you. There was
Yours is garlic, bro.
You didn't see what I did with that. There was, like, you seen American Pie when he has sex with the pie. There was I don't know whether or not American Pie was based off this movie or this movie was based off American Pie. It was like a SBS, like European. I don't know which part of Europe it was from, but like it was basically American Pie, but European version. And instead of having sex with the pie, he had sex with a bowl of pasta. He obviously like jizzed in the pasta, and then he served it to his girlfriend, because then his girlfriend was like, "This tastes familiar." Like literally was like a whole storyline of it. This is going on forever, but this is kind of fun. Would you rather have the ability to shoot bees out of your eyes or have a pair of shoes that never needed to be cleaned or repaired? Well, why is that even an option?
Yeah, why is that an option? Bees.
Of course. I mean, why would you want unrepairable shoes? All right, let's ask a couple more. You know, I've been on that page here. We're going way too long, but whatever.
You ask me 3 more, I'll ask you 3 more.
Deal. All righty. Oh, you asked me that one already. If you were given the ability to fluently speak another language that you can't currently speak, which language would you choose and why? That's a pretty standard one.
I've already thought of French.
French, really?
Yeah, they speak French all over.
Yeah, but then they just run away and surrender.
Or Spanish also.
French. God, don't get me started. So that's that ejaculant one I was talking about before. If you were in a Groundhog Day situation, what would be the worst crime that you would commit, knowing that when you woke up, it would almost certainly not happened?
Almost certainly. No, I would be a coward. I wouldn't do it.
I fucking would.
No, I would be way too scared that my luck that the next day I wake up, it did happen.
Wow. What? You would have read this one because this was underneath the question you've already asked me. Would you rather be immune from ever getting chlamydia or have free Kit Kats for life? In brackets, you would get 365 four-finger Kit Kats per year or 366 on a leap year, but would still be able to get chlamydia. Every time I look at Kit Kats now, I'm just going to think of chlamydia.
Immune. Because I like Kit Kats, but I don't need... Because I'm trying to cut down on chocolate. I don't need more chocolate.
That is... Oh, can I ask you one more? I just want to ask you this one.
Okay.
Have you ever had a dream that seemed so real you thought that it was true? How do you know it wasn't and that wasn't just a dream?
Well, it's hard to remember really any dreams, but definitely that's happened. Where, you know, you go to school and you're not wearing your t-shirt or something and it feels so real and you're like, wake up and you're like, you know, something happens and you're like panicking or everything's just gone to shit. And then you wake up and you're like, oh my God.
Mine's having sex with classmates. Ben, it did happen. It wasn't a dream. Shit!
All right, 3 more.
Yep.
Have you ever sucked on a fisherman's friend?
Yes.
They're disgusting.
My dad eats them that's.
Sorry about saying my dad is a fisherman.
No, well, my dad, you always have memories of your parents and certain things, like certain products, smells, that sort of thing. Fisherman's Friends is my dad's, as long as I can remember. Always had Fisherman's Friends, and still to this day, I remember the other night I was watching Wonder Woman with him on the couch. He's popping Fisherman's Friends, and
Weird.
I had a weird addiction to them for a while. He has the really the sort of aniseed flavor ones, but then there was these ones that were extra strong mint, and they were literally so strong they kind of were disgusting, but you got used to them, and I became probably when I was 13. I have long-winded answer.
A musical one here. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man?
3.
I love here because some of the questions it says. Richard says 11 roads. All right, one last one.
How many roads must a man...
You might have to put this over 2 episodes.
Nah.
This is a very long segment.
We don't have any other guests this week, so this is fine.
We could do this all day. I just can't find a good...
We're playing board games doing this.
What is the... Yeah, this is the new version of Trivial Pursuit or something. What's the worst song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I know 4 songs by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I actually don't mind it. They're one of those.
They're pretty good.
They're one of those bands that kind of they're not my favorite, but you hear their songs and you're they're pretty good. Look, Californication is a good song.
I like that.
It just it's one of those ones that drains in your head. But no, I don't know. The ones I know, I like all of them. If I had to choose one, that's just kind of my mind. But the reason I would pick that too is because they then tried to sue the TV show Californication because they reckon it was copyright infringement. But
what's the most unusual thing that you've ever used as a toilet paper substitute? I don't want to know. A bath?
Catalogue. Seriously, I remember one time I was out of toilet paper and that's all that we had was a catalogue. So I wiped my ass on a Kmart catalogue or something like that. I don't know. Did you ever used to get really excited for getting catalogues?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I heard that from a friend.
Have you ever falsely accused anyone of witchcraft?
Just yesterday, actually, it's funnily enough.
And then, have you ever correctly accused someone of witchcraft?
Again, just yesterday. Second guess was correct.
Did the real witch take their revenge on you?
Well, probably. That's why I'm here doing this with you for 20 minutes.
Am I alone in thinking it's highly unlikely you not only met a witch, but also you were brave enough to accuse them?
I actually have met somebody who believed they were really into Wicca, the whole Wiccan thing, and they legitimately believed they were a witch. Dead set.
Yeah. Who done it?
Me.
Have you been to Nando's before?
Oh, God, yes.
I don't like Nando's.
What? What's wrong with you? Nando's is amazing.
It's not great.
Nando's. Louise and I used to make our own Nando's. You buy you could buy the...
you made this your own book here.
We could buy the ingredients from Coles and you'd make your own. It was great.
Okay, we need to find a good
He
place.
doesn't like Nando's.
What's the stupidest thing you've done for no money?
This podcast. It's so true. I've done lots of stupid things. My whole life is doing stupid
you're a
things for
video
money.
game character. All right, let's find a good one.
You think we'd prep this? Again, we just ate garlic bread on air, so...
Okay.
How many roads must a man walk down before you can
Next
call?
page.
You turn the page. Oh, we should do forget the lyrics while we're here. How many questions can Noah read before you can call him a man?
Do you think Toy Story 2 could ever happen in real life?
Toy Story 2? Oh, because they were the toys that wanted to go to Japan and... Yeah, of course it could. Never say never. I mean, toys are real, right?
I'm not going to ask that question.
Ask it. Ask it now.
No.
Ask it.
I'll
Go on.
ask it off air.
Ask it. No, I want you to ask it on air. I'm brave. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't want people to have to listen.
Come on.
That. What's the most public place that you've ever given oral sex?
Given oral sex.
Or received, but I cut that bit out because I thought it would make it more interesting.
Received in the Edge Radio studio. No shame. Hello to all our Edge Radio listeners who used to listen to this show. That is true. And given a car. Nothing special about that.
Have you ever watched something on Facebook Live that hasn't been totally shit?
No.
Is there a race of people who you secretly believe should be exterminated in death camps?
New Zealanders.
That's another trick question designed to draw out concealed racism.
Well, we already answered that before that I'm a racist, so I didn't hesitate with that.
Okay, we're nearly done.
Shall I ask you some more?
We need to wrap up.
One more. Go. One more. This is it. This
We
is
need a good one.
And you're going to answer this one too. This is the dual question to close out this segment where we've learned so much about Ben and Noah, except Noah's saving his off air, or I've just answered about Edge Radio Studio.
It needs to be a good one then. Okay. Let's have two more.
Okay, wow.
First one. Biscuits or actresses?
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. 'Cause the more I think about it, I mean, I like biscuits.
I love biscuits.
And that also means you get the bad actresses. I would say there's more bad actresses than bad biscuits. There's not many bad biscuits. But
It's not often you compare actresses to biscuits.
I'm going to go with biscuits. Like, I want some actresses. I just don't want all of them. But
so is it, what could I do without, or?
no, it's just, you want all the biscuits or all the actors?
I want all the actresses.
All right. And then I've got the biscuits, so we could
We
do
can-
like a...
That's logical thinking. Here, have Jennifer Lawrence. I'll have an iced Vovo.
we could trade some.
I fucking love iced Vovo.
All right. Last one. Would you rather have pubic hair made of unremovable barbed wire or be attacked by a rabid badger in your sleep once a week? There's a lot that goes into this question.
Now, a few things to clarify here. So pubic hair made out of barbed wire, but I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
going
don't know if it grows, or if it's just the same length all the time.
to affect my sex life, which really
What?
won't do.
Yeah, so nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Or a badger. Like, is it
A
like,
rabid badger.
like
This is hard.
Is it a random attack, or do I know? Oh, Tuesday 3 a.m. Here comes Johnny the Badger.
Well, so you just sleep. But it could be like a scheduled badger attack.
Scheduled badger attack. Can't come over tonight, Nathan. Nathan? What?
Is that the guy from high school?
Jonathan, actually. Nathan. Why did my mind go to a male name? What am I doing here? Jesus Christ. I really am gay. Hashtag vote yes.
Oh,
Hashtag
yes.
love is love. I mean, like, you're asleep. So,
Yeah, so even if it's scheduled, it would be hard to get to sleep, but you have to be asleep.
and I'm guessing you don't die. Like,
No, because it's once a week.
so you'd probably wake up and be like, oh fuck, he's always going for the
But
shoulder.
it is rabid, so...
Well, you'd go
This
to
is
sleep with a
hard.
gun. You just literally go to sleep
No,
with a gun.
but you can't kill the... It's a
Why
weekly
can't you?
rabid badger.
It doesn't
attack.
say that I can't kill the badger.
Yeah, but it has to be weekly. So
But there's
they'll
more
get
than one badger in the world.
So you kill the badger, they get another one in next week.
I'd go with the badger because I'd be prepared. And what use
hard.
is pubic hair that's made of barbed
Well, I
wire?
mean, what's use of a rabid badger? There's no good option here.
It's not like one of those other ones where it's like, would you rather have bees from your eyes or
Good shoes. Oh,
I love this guy. Can we get him on the show?
Yeah, come on, Rich. We'll ask you the question. I don't know.
Both.
I mean, if you had the barbed wire, it'd be good barrier against rabid badgers.
Good barrier against chlamydia.
Yeah.
There's your question.
But it
Kit
just
Kat.
depends on how much barbed wire. Is it just like little...
Because I can imagine that's also affecting your pants. Like, I mean, it's going to scrape against your undies and you're going
But
to
if
have
it's
like...
just little bits of barb,
You're always going to rip your jeans.
you might be able to figure out some sort of like plastic.
It's just a soul
contraption.
patch.
Yeah.
Nail trail.
I think you could get some plastic contraption or something that kind of
Plastic
sits there.
contraption. You just blunten the... Like,
But then also, is it like pubic hair like
but then also...
everywhere? 'Cause
you also-
that would be painful.
You also got to think that you'd become a bit of a celebrity about that. You'd be like, you know,
Do you want to be that?
Ripley's Believe It or Not. Check out Ben with his pubic hair barbed wire.
I mean, my rebuttal is you would probably also be on Ripley's Believe It or Not. This band's attacked by a badger every Tuesday.
They can't stop it. They put a barrier up everywhere. Badger traps. The magical badger. It's always there.
This man, that is like clickbait if I've ever heard of it. It's true.
That is a news.com.au article. Man attacked by rabid badger every week.
Tuesday.
Click to read more.
Yeah, this is a good one to end on because it's officially the unanswerable question. I can't do it.
No, we've learned a lot from garlic bread to rabid badgers. Thank you, and I look forward to this story off air.
Time for the part of the show where I press this.
This is like a flashback. This is like a dream.
Flash yourselves back. We're going to go back to 2009 again, as obviously we've done recently a lot going back to that year. And we're going to hear from a little bit of a section between Josh and myself when it came to referring to Tasmania into the same context as the 2008 film Australia. There was a very iconic line in that film by Hugh Jackman. You'll hear us talk a little bit about it here. So what if that film was set in Tasmania instead?
But crikey, no. I mean,
The reason why I said crikey, I don't know if you Tasmanians would have had this, but...
You Tasmanians.
No.
You Tasmanians. You Tasmanians.
When I was a kid growing up in New South Wales, we had a TV show called Agro's Cartoon Connection.
Josh, we're not that isolated, all right? We did have Agro's Cartoon
The
Connection.
other reason why I
here
said
too.
that is because it was on Channel 10, not...
We had Agro's Cartoon Connection, Josh. It's fine. We did have television.
Okay, cool. But on that show, they used to have Crikey the Clown.
Crikey the Clown.
Yeah, and that's how I started saying it, because Crikey can go, Crikey!
But it's like, I mean, not all Indians go, oh, very, very good. And, I mean, I've never met an Indian person who said that.
I did the other day.
I've never met an American who goes, hey, y'all. I've never met a Canadian. Actually, no, I have met a Canadian that says a boot. I've never met an Irish person who's been like, oh, to be sure, to be sure. I mean, it's a
You haven't met my uncle then.
I've never met actually, no, I have met many New Zealanders who said socks flush. But it's like, it's stereotypical. And, I mean, of course you've got a movie about Australia. You can't exactly have, you know, non-typical stereotyping because that's what people think of us. But, the whole point of that conversation is I like the movie.
I think we should do a movie called Tasmania.
Hey.
And it's... Well,
Welcome to Tasmania. There's a gunman at Northgate. Everyone panic! And then that's what...
and the swine flu's taken hold.
You know Bob? Yeah, I know Bob. Yeah, I know Sam. Yeah, I know John. We're brothers. We're sisters. Here's me father. Here's me brother. Here's me husband.
See... let's come up with a storyline for Tasmania.
Oh, well, how long have you got, Josh?
Okay, well...
Depends which angle you want to take of Tasmania too. Do you want the stereotype of Tasmania? Do you want the true blue Tasmanian wilderness story? Do you want the Olympic 2020 vision that's going to transform this state into the best thing since my left bum cheek? I mean, it's got to be different. You got to look at things differently. You could have David Bartlett going, well, in Australia, Tasmania.
That's it, like... You get this random blonde girl coming from Sydney and then she goes out to, like...
Speaking with an English accent. Oh, I've got to go drove some bogans out of the northern suburbs on an epic 300-kilometre thing. Oh, I say, there's a small Aboriginal child here. Where did you come from? Oh, you're
Yes,
not...
it's like, where did you come from? We killed you off. Like, that's what happened. If you look at Tasmanian history...
All right.
But... As I was going to say, like, you just see this blonde girl who's coming in to buy investment properties in Tasmania, pops into the Telegraph Hotel.
What, two? I mean...
Like, no, she comes in and she's like, I need to get to Kingston.
And instead of the Japanese bombing Hobart, it's the Launceston coming down with their bogues beer to poison our cascade.
And you just see this guy hanging out the front of the Telegraph going... Welcome to Tasmania, love.
There's this like massive brawl going on in the streets, but instead of there being a brawl, it's quiet, and that's the shocking bit.
Still think they're writing that Baz Luhrmann, the sequel. Not sure if it'll happen. It's been nearly a decade now, but watch this space. Another week worth of Trump stuff to talk about means that one man is here to talk about it. No, it's not Donald Trump. It's the next best thing. Paul Luttrell. Paul, welcome back to the Brink. I don't know how you're kind of second to Donald Trump. That's a bit of a weird introduction, but I think I've done worse with you.
Yeah, I've just bumped Mike Pence out of the way. Good to be here.
I mean, as always, another interesting week. And I remember you and I talking months and months ago when I think basically when he first got elected, about how he would handle a big crisis, a big, a big catastrophe along those lines. And he's kind of had to deal with a couple in the last week or so, particularly obviously with the hurricane response with Puerto Rico. This is where he's really come under fire, just through his comments that he's labelled at the mayor of San Juan there in Puerto Rico. I mean, I say this all the time, I feel, but what the hell is his problem? What's going on in his head? Can we even analyse this? I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, it just seems like he's basically just, I don't know, maybe trying to garner some kind of response from his base, who are obviously all racist, or a big proportion are obviously racist and don't want him to help anyone who speaks Spanish. But yeah, it basically just labeling them more lazy and not helping and blaming them for a hurricane, which seems a bit strange. I've seen a number of times where he's said, you've thrown our budget out of whack here. Yeah, Donald, we wanted a hurricane. That's what we were hoping for. We caused it. Despite the fact that he's the one that's obviously just pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, which is kind of the thing that's, climate change is kind of the thing that's aggravating these hurricanes. So if anyone's to blame, it's him.
It's crazy to think that, because I think a lot of people don't give Puerto Rico, the status that a lot of obviously other American, just to say American states get, because it's a territory of the US. It's not it's not a state. And I know there's a big push for Puerto Rico to become a state. I think they've even had numerous votes over the years that are always majority saying we want to become the 51st state. It's just it never gets rectified by the US in terms of actually making it happen. But I mean, it's kind of it's just so fascinating to think that this part of the US is ignored. I mean, it's been a tragedy what's happened with this hurricane, and Trump's gone there. He's shown a video of him throwing paper towels at people, and he's getting his photos taken with everybody and commending all sort of the responses and that sort of stuff. But yeah, in the meantime, let's just call the mayor lazy, because as you said, I'm sure they wanted a hurricane. I mean, who doesn't want a hurricane? We all want a hurricane. Bring one to Hobart, destroy us. God, come on.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Can you just imagine what the response would have been if he had have had this, attacked the mayor of Houston or something, or Dallas for being lazy in their attempt to, combat the hurricane that hit there? It'd be ridiculous. He would have been, called for re-election or something. He would have been impeached, I think.
Well, I mean, you look at the response with everything to do in Florida, particularly. We talked about that a few weeks ago. I mean, God, he's there every day, basically, in Florida, isn't he, playing golf? So, he wants to protect that. But when it comes to Puerto Rico, the only thing he wants to protect, I guess, is his maid staff, really, isn't it? I mean, I don't know how it kind of works. But, I mean, it has been, obviously, a lot of people getting behind campaigns to raise funds through all means necessary. Obviously, a lot of prominent people, celebrities, politicians, everything along those lines are really sort of putting it out there. So that sort of response has been great. But this is the part, as I said, we talked about months ago about how he would deal with a situation like this, and at least one of the two big ones in the last week or so, I think you'd give him a resounding fail, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is what happens when you elect someone that doesn't really have any kind of empathy. He's not actually able to act like a human being towards people who are slightly different to him. So, yeah, you've just seen lots of times, but it doesn't really understand the situation. You've seen with clips of him just telling people to have a good time and everything like that. So, yeah, sure, I'm going to have a good time. My house has just been blown away in a hurricane.
Well, didn't he even come out and say, like, oh, you've never seen... Like, I don't think he came out and said you've never seen damage quite like this. It's just his typical Trump way of saying it, didn't he? Like, the damage has never been bigger. You will not see a bigger hurricane than this. It's just like...
Yeah, tremendous hurricane, tremendous, that kind of thing, yeah. I think he has stock ways of answering things, and that seems to apply to everything.
It's
He also gave himself an A+, of course, for his response to hurricanes.
It's crazy. I'm just scrolling through his Twitter feed here, actually, just looking at, it's always I think a lot of the times it's fun just reading the comments, actually, sometimes, of course, from people. But, obviously, the other big major story to come out of the US, the tragedy in Las Vegas, the biggest mass shooting in the history of the country, which, it's weird to think that, that number was 59 confirmed deaths, I think, the last time I looked, and, obviously the tragedy that is, and it really is at a point where we get this news of this sort of stuff happening in America, and we sadly, I think, don't react to it as much as we should, just because it is, sadly such a commonplace here. It was only, barely 12 months ago, this so-called record of biggest mass shooting happened in, of course, Orlando, and barely a year later, it's been broken. But, I guess the one thing to say about a lot of this is that Donald Trump hasn't really put his foot in this one. He seems to, I guess, be handling this one fairly good. He's obviously tweeted out a lot of condolences. I believe he's been in Las Vegas in the last 24 hours or so at the time of recording this, and sort of meeting with the first responders and visiting a lot of the victims. So, as of at least recording this, it will be about 3 days before we release this in terms of when we've recorded this. So far, he hasn't done anything to piss anyone off in Las Vegas just yet.
Yeah, I think this is a typical kind of response, though, by pro-gun lobbyists or anyone who's kind of pro-gun, is that after a mass shooting like this, you go a bit quiet. He's been tweeting and stuff and offering condolences, but he hasn't. I think he's trying to nullify the debate really around guns. Obviously, if he starts talking about it, then everyone's going to start talking about it. But it is something that kind of pops up after every mass shooting, the debate over gun laws, and it doesn't seem to ever come to anything. The NRA obviously always gets its way. It's a pretty powerful lobby group. But to me, it just defies logic that they haven't really. It's common sense, essentially. People keep on getting killed by guns. Maybe try and restrict the people that are actually able to get guns, or at least have some kind of clearance to be able to get guns.
And the NRA actually, I think, surprised a few people with sort of their response. They took a few days to come out with a response, but they sort of agreed that there needs to be a bit of regulation in regards to these whole bump stock accessories on guns, which, look, that's a whole other episode in itself. I barely understand them, and reading through all these things, but they're trying to explain it to us. I guess as Australians, we just basically know that a gun's got a trigger and a bullet. That's about it. But I guess it's kind of interesting that they took a little bit of a stance. Obviously they didn't come out and sort of take the stance that we all want them to take when it comes to gun control. But, for once, they've sort of called for a bit of regulation, which, surprising from the NRA.
Yeah, it is. I'll have to look into it a bit further, because I feel like just knowing the history of the NRA, there'd have to be some kind of catch. Like they're giving up a tiny little thing to try and, stop a lot from getting taken away from them. But, yeah, it's not like them to do that.
Yeah, and it's really the same old debate that comes up when something like this happens. It's going to happen again, hopefully not on the level of this, and it shouldn't happen again, obviously. This is the thing that people obviously will talk about every time something like this happens, and the fact that, we shouldn't have to have a conversation about this when these things happen. And look, I firmly believe that it's obviously a lot more complicated than us as Australians will ever understand. Having spent time in America, having talked to Americans about this, it's really not something as simple as whenever this happens, they automatically bring up what we did here in Australia, and they automatically think that that's the solution, which on paper, of course it's the solution, but in realistic terms, you just can't do that overnight in America because it's a lot more complicated. And that's where I think, this is where America, the most powerful country in the world, they can't even sort out a healthcare system properly, which sounds easy on paper. I think it's even more complicated when it comes to gun control. So it's sadly something that we're going to see again in the future, but we just obviously hope that somehow they can come up with something that makes something like this not as frequent and not as easy as it clearly seems to be in America.
I think there's a lot of fear there. Obviously, the big worry that people have is if we start, restricting guns, then, there's still going to be all these illegal guns on the street, which people are going. So therefore, there's going to be a higher proportion of criminals with guns or whatever. So that seems to be the big fear. But it's not like the regulations they're going for is essentially just people who the main things they're pushing for is essentially background checks or restricting people who have a history of violence from actually being able to purchase a gun.
Which is, I mean, I've had conversation. I remember when I was in Alaska, for example, having conversation about sort of gun control just in that state, because I mean, Alaska's a very high hunting state given the size and proportion of it. And it was interesting, kind of the regulations involved with certain guns. That like it was fairly commonplace and easy to get sort of a high powerful hunting weapon or sort of a rifle, but when it came to like pistols and just your basic handguns, they're like very hard to get in Alaska. So it's kind of like certain states obviously will have different laws around them and all this sort of stuff. And I mean, given, you know, a lot of Australian laws generally when it comes state to state, with not just obviously talking about gun control, but a lot of things, most states fall into line with pretty much most of the laws, whereas America, you got 50 states basically with different laws. So I mean, that in itself causes a massive problem. And again, this is a country that you legitimately walk into Walmart and they're just there. They're just there for you to see openly. You know, we've seen those famous sort of you know, ads where you open up a bank account, get a gun. You know, it's kind of it's such a weird concept to people outside of the country, I feel. But again, you talk to Americans, even the staunchest, you know, anti-gun people in America. It's always a very interesting topic of debate when it comes to them and just the right and what this means to them as a country. Because I think at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily come down to the fact about guns. It's symbol of freedom. It's in the Constitution. You know, this is what makes America. So that's kind of, I think, what it comes down to.
If you go the other way with it, you could say that, well, I should be entitled to the freedom to not fear for my life when I'm going to a crowded event or whatever. I know... we say all this kind of stuff where it's a complicated issue, but like the statistics don't lie. I mean, they show that more guns equals more gun deaths. America has the highest concentration of guns in the developed world per capita, and they have overwhelmingly the highest number of gun deaths. And I've seen people try to argue, say, oh yeah, but I mean, we saw last year in Nice, you know, killed 80-odd people with a truck, so this doesn't happen. You know, this could happen with anything. Well, no, that was a one-off. Really, I mean, it's not an epidemic. This happens every week in America, or more than a week in America. And the thing is, guns make it much easier for people to kill each other. I'd sooner take my chances dodging out of the way of a truck than dodging a bullet.
It's a very, very good point, the way you put that. And I also think a lot of people too, you know, throwing out the T word, terrorism, you know, why is this not terrorism? Why is something else terrorism? I mean, that in itself is a different debate, but I mean, you know, the word terrorism, essentially, it's to incite fear, and people are afraid to go out in public, in massive, you know, public spaces after an event like this, aren't they?
Yeah, well, terrorism is generally politically motivated. It's trying to cause some sort of change, whereas this guy just seemed like he was, you know, he'd romanticized the idea of going out and shooting a bunch of people and how much fun that would be with a gun. I doubt he would have done the same thing if he didn't have access to a gun. I doubt he would have had the same kind of motivation to go out and do it with a truck.
Well, you imagine...
It seemed like it was like he essentially like he was getting his jollies off or whatever, shooting a bunch of people, playing sniper, essentially. Well,
you imagine the response and the reaction to this if A, he had have been Muslim, B, they had have found an ISIS flag or something like that. I mean, you obviously remember the siege in Sydney a few years ago where, you know, Australia under attack just because he happened to be Muslim and put up a flag that they thought was ISIS, which it wasn't ISIS. And I mean, you know, I never forget that headline, the day Australia changed. Really?
Yeah.
No. I'm not trying to laugh that off. It was a tragic event, but, you know, it's just the different responses this would be if you change this guy's race and add a couple of little extra things to him. So,
even if you just change his race, I think, like, it doesn't have to have anything else. I think that this is, like, the story's spun completely differently. I mean, you
exactly.
get... Yeah. a different narrative.
And Trump's response, I mean, imagine if, we know how hardline he is on, Muslim immigration and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, just that in itself would have been completely different.
Yeah. I think it's terrible kind of implications for what America or what the world is like, essentially. I mean, it's not... I think you see things like that and you realise just how ridiculous kind of, political agendas are.
Indeed. Well, Paul, always a pleasure having you on, and hopefully next week we won't have necessarily as much serious stuff to talk about, and we always look forward to having you on the show no matter what, but thank you for your time today.
Yeah, it's been good. Thanks.
You would have remembered several months back we played a bit for you on the show in regards to a scammer calling me. One of those Australian taxation office scammer people claiming that I'm going to get arrested and go to jail if I don't pay him $1 billion or something along those lines, and sort of trolled him a little bit, had some fun with him, and I thought that was it. I thought, I'm on their blacklist, they'll never call me again. Turns out that's incorrect. I actually got another call from them during the week, and thought I'd record it again, have a bit more fun. I got a little bit further this time around. It's a little bit longer, this one, but just stay with it right to the end because it's a bit of fun.
Thank you for calling HGR Hermit Hall team.
Yes, hello. I just got a message left on my phone to call this number back about... I didn't really understand it too much. I couldn't understand it, but it said to call this number back immediately.
Okay. I believe that I'm speaking with Ben Waterworth.
Yes, that's correct. That's me.
Correct, Mr. Waterworth. This is the Officer Robert Smith from the Australian Taxation Office, and the reason I'm calling you that there is a legal lawsuit filed on you by the Australian Taxation Office. So do you have any idea regarding this legal case which is filed against you? Do you have a criminal attorney who can represent you inside the courthouse?
This is all news to me, mate. Sorry, just so I have legal proceedings against me, did you say?
Yes. There is a legal lawsuit filed on you by the Australian Taxation Office. So do you have any idea regarding this legal case?
No, sorry. Please tell me more. This is a bit concerning.
Okay. So if you don't have any idea regarding this legal case, so do you want me to provide you more information regarding this case?
Absolutely. I definitely do. Please tell me more.
Okay. So now, the thing is that before I go and give any further information regarding this case, I would like to notify that the line on which we are talking right now, it has been federally recorded and as well as monitored by the Australian Federal Police Department, Municipal Courthouse, Attorney General Office, and the Australian Taxation Headquarters. So I would appreciate if you do not interrupt me while I will give you this information, and do not use any kind of abuse word on this federally recorded line, and I will give you the fair enough chance to speak and ask your questions regarding this case, but once I will finish from the my side. Am I clear?
Understood, sir. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So now, here we go. Like generally what happened, Mr. Waterworth, each and every year you file your taxes, we just check in and accept it. We never do the verification. But every 5 years, the main headquarters has to do an audit to make sure whether the taxes filed are correctly or not. So right now, the main headquarters did an audit of each and every taxpayer taxes from the year of 2011 to till the year of 2016. In that audit, when we come up to you, when we do the audit of your taxes, we just come to know that the taxes which you have paid in the year of 2014 and 2015 was not correct. There was a mistake and a miscalculation found in that 2 years. In those 2 years, the amount which you have paid was not matched with the amount which we have on our file. It shows that you are trying to run away with the government money by showing less amount, and you are trying to defrauding with the government by not paying your taxes correctly. So that is the only reason at this present moment the ATO will file a legal lawsuit against you with the 4 serious criminal allegations, and that is the only reason your unbailable arrest warrant has been put on hold now. And the allegation which is filed under your name, count 1, violation of ATO rules and regulations, count 2, violation of ATO code, count 3, theft by deception, and count 4, willful misrepresentation of information to the government organization. So now, at this present moment, once our conversation will be finished, once as well as you and I hang up this line, in the next coming 24 hours, the Australian Federal Police Department will be contacting you, and they will be serving you with the legal case file, the court subpoena subpoena and legal unbailable arrest warrant, and then after they will arrest you for the further investigations for next coming 72 hours, and then your case will be downloaded in the courthouse. And once your case will be downloaded in the courthouse, and if you are found guilty in the court, then I will let you know what are the consequences you need to face. If you are found guilty in the courthouse, so might be is it possible the judge and the jury will sue you for minimum $30,000 to $40,000 as a penalty charges. You are getting arrested for 5 years, 3 years of the house arrestment. Whatever the property do you have, including your house, your car, all your non-bank accounts, your debit card, your credit cards, your private bonds, your government bonds, your driver's license, your passport, each and everything will be seized and the frozen by the Australia Taxation Office. We also informed your employer, your banking, and your creditors regarding this tax fraud. So might be is it possible you lose your job and your credit score will be downgraded up to 200 points. So these are the consequences which you need to face if the case will be downloaded in the courthouse and if you are found guilty in the courthouse. And at this present moment, the outstanding amount which you owe to the ATO, which is $4,994.35. This is the amount which you owe to the ATO for the year of 2014 and the year of 2015. So now, Mr. Woodward, just let me know, what is your intention regarding this legal case? Do you have a criminal attorney who can represent you inside the courthouse?
Wow, gee. Wow, sorry, I'm just in shock. This is tragic. Look, I do. You know, his name's Mike. Mike Hunt, I'm sure I can find him. It says you said $4,994.35 to be correct. Is that what you said,
Yes.
sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Gee, see, I'll tell you one thing. If that was only $4,994, I probably could pay, but that 35 cents really puts me over the threshold. Shit. Oh, sorry, I'm not meant to swear. Damn. Can you tell me how I can fix this, please? I'm really nervous. I'm really worked up, please. I don't want to go to jail, please. Just, how can I fix this, please? Help me.
Okay. I completely understand, like, you want to fix this matter out of the courthouse, but I'm very sorry for that. At this present moment, we are not sitting over here to collect any kind of money. This is not any kind of bill collection agency. We're just giving you a call because we just need your criminal attorney information who can represent you inside the courthouse. Because, as you know, once the conversation will be finished, you are getting arrested. Your warrant will be going to be inactivated. But I just want to just give me the one answer, like why we are giving you a chance to make this payment and get this matter resolved out of the courthouse. Can you give me one good reason, please, for that?
I'm sorry, a good reason to what? To make the payment, or why I didn't pay? Or
why we are giving you a chance, why we are giving you an opportunity to make this payment and get this matter resolved out of the courthouse.
So why should I? Is this an excuse you want me to give you, sir, or like I don't understand what you want me to say here. Sorry, I'm still in shock. I'm sorry. I'm really nervous right now.
Like why? For what reason we are giving you a chance? Why we are giving you an opportunity to resolve the matter? Can you give me one good reason, please, for that?
Because I'm a nice person. I mean, because I've always paid my taxes on time, and I give to charity, and I like puppies. Like, can you just tell me, like, I'm a good person, please. I don't want to go to jail.
Okay. But Mr. Waterworth has already informed me this present, and I'm really so sorry for that. I'm not able to helping you out, but I can only do one thing for you at this present moment. And just go ahead and simply head ahead with the My Restitution Department to the My Higher Authority, and let's see if they are giving you any chance to rectify this matter out of the courthouse by paying this unpaid amount today itself. So definitely I will let you know. But I'm not giving you any kind of guarantee, or I'm not giving you any kind of assurance from my side. Yes, they are giving you a chance.
Okay.
But yes, I will try my level best. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, sir. What was your name again? Sorry, I didn't get your name.
My name is Officer Robert Smith.
Robert Smith. Okay, thank you, Robert Smith. So are you going to transfer me, are you? Or what are you going to do now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna talk with my higher authority. Okay. You just do one thing. Just stay on the line.
I will, Robert. Thank you.
Don't hang up this line. Don't put me on mute. Don't put me in a hold. And don't hang up this line. And make sure don't talk with any other third person on this federally recorded line.
Okay.
Because as you know, the line will be recorded, and we need to submit this recording in the court as an evidence.
I understood.
Okay?
I understand, sir. I'll hold.
All right. Yeah. Just be on the line, please.
So as of right now, I actually don't know what the hell's happening. I've never made it this far before. Generally, they always hang up on me, or they kind of gather that I don't know. But I've muted them at the moment. So, $4,994.35. Very specific. Very specific. Officer Robert Smith. Sounds like a Robert Smith to me. So, I guess we'll just continue on here to see what old Robert Smith wants from me. Last time we did this, we were told to go to Woolworths, I believe. So, government organisation called Woolworths. So let's just see what Officer Robert Smith is going to do here. I'm intrigued. He's taking his time. It's a very busy day at the Australian Taxation Office. All these people that they're arresting, waiting, and just getting a bit worked up. Clearly. I thought they'd blocked my number. I thought they'd given up on me, to be completely honest with you. But I think there's a different number to the last time when they had me. So let's wait and see what happens here. Just chilling. We'll wait. This could be a while. Let's see how long this takes.
Okay, are you there?
I am. Yes, I'm here.
I just had a word with the Minor Restitution Department regarding your case to the Mahal Authority, and they are just telling me that before they take any decision regarding your case, they just want me to asking you a few questions on behalf of them.
Okay.
Then after they will take any decision regarding your case.
Okay.
So make sure whatever the question answer you provide to me, to be honest and truthfully on this federally recorded line.
Okay.
Because right is it possible this recording will be used against you or in favor of you in the courthouse.
All right.
So make sure whatever you say in your favor or to be honest. Okay?
Okay. I understand. I'll be honest. I promise.
Okay. So now, the first question is that, like, you have done this tax fraud intentionally or it was done by mistake?
I'll be honest with you, Robert. I did it intentionally. I thought I'd get away with it, and clearly I haven't. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested for any reason in the last 3 years? Any criminal reason or any other reason?
Yes, I have. I got caught having sex with a dog, and I'm very upset about that. But I'll be honest with you, I went to jail for a little bit for that, so I did, yes. Hello, Robert, are you there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here. Okay. And, like, have you ever been involved in any kind of money laundering charges before?
Well, I mean, not too much. I mean, you know, every now and then when I go out, there would be some friends and we'd talk about it, but I'd get drunk sometimes, and I don't know if I actually did it or not, but I probably did. I can't completely remember, to be honest, but, I mean, in the spate of honesty, I'll just say yes, because I don't want to get into any more trouble here, Robert.
I'm talking about the money laundering. I'm talking about the money laundering charges.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I never formal charges. Well, I've never been charged, but okay, so we'll know then if that's what you want to say with that.
Okay. And have you ever filed for any bankruptcy?
Not yet, but I might have to after I deal with this, clearly, but no, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been involved in any kind of scam or any other wrong activities?
No, not that I know of. I mean, you know, every now and then I get sort of those calls from people who are scamming me, but I'm pretty good at, you know, realising who they are, so I don't fall for those. So, no, I've never done it myself.
Okay, so now the thing is that this present moment, okay, we just checked the history in our higher authority just ready to giving you first and the last opportunity to make this payment and get this matter resolved out of the courthouse.
Okay.
But there are the three conditions which you need to follow if you want to resolve the matter. Okay?
Okay.
If you are not able to follow the three conditions, then I'm sorry, you are not able to complete the case.
Okay.
So first of all, I will let you know what kind of condition you need to follow. Once you agree, then I will guide you how to make the payments. Okay?
Okay, I understood, Robert.
So now, the first condition is that, like, at this present moment, until or unless your case has been resolved, okay, your payment has been not done, you don't hang up this line, don't put me in a mute, and don't put me in a hold. And you're not authorized to talk with any other third person. Because if you're trying to do this thing, then I'm sorry, we're just going to simply activate your warrant, and then after, the case will be downloaded in the court. So make sure, don't talk with anyone else, don't put me in a mute, don't put me in a hold, and don't hang up this line. Okay?
Okay, understood.
Now, the second condition. Second condition is that at this present moment, we are giving you only a maximum time limit, which is the 60 minutes, 1 hour approx.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay? Definitely, we will give you extra time if you want, but it depends on your genuineness and your cooperation, which you will be showing to the ATO.
Okay.
But at this present moment, the time limit which is for you, its maximum time limit, it's 1 hour, approximately. Okay?
Okay.
Now, the third and the last and most important condition. The thing is that at this present moment, we are going to get this matter resolved out of the courthouse. Okay? And you are getting this kind of opportunity. Okay, sir. ATO is not allowing you to discuss or disclose this matter with anyone else. Okay? Until or unless your case has been resolved, you are not authorized to inform anyone else. I'm getting this kind of trouble, and the ATO will give me a chance to make this payment and get the matter resolved out of the courthouse.
Okay.
Until or unless your case has been resolved, you are not authorized to discuss or disclose regarding this case with anyone. Okay? Until or unless your case has been resolved or your payment has been not done. Because if you are trying to discuss or disclose this matter with anyone else before the matter will be resolved out of the court, then I'm sorry. We'll simply activate the warrant and download this case. Because at this present moment, the case is between you and the ATO only. So
Okay.
ATO not allowing you to disclose this matter with anyone. Okay?
Okay,
Not
no.
even your family members, friends, colleagues, none of them.
All right. Not even my dog?
No one was.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Robert. Okay, I understand.
Now, the thing is that at this present moment, we are not able to accept your amount by cash, by check, by debit card, by credit card, by any online transaction, not even any kind of money ordered through. Because each and everything will be under investigations right now. Your name is put on a defaulter list, and under your name they are showing a red flag error. Sir, you need to make this amount by using a tax pay voucher.
Okay.
Okay? This voucher is available to your store, nearest store like Woolworth, Big W, 7-Eleven, Kohl's, Myers, Kmart, Target. So which one is nearest to you at this present moment?
Oh, look, I live pretty close to a Woolworths, so I could go to Woolworths.
Yeah, like how much time it will take to reach to the Woolworth?
Oh, maybe 5 minutes?
Okay, so the one thing, you can use your debit card, you can use your credit card, and you can use the cash to buy the voucher. Once you buy the voucher, you need to upload this money on that voucher, and you need to verify with me the number. So I can register the number in your name, and then after we are going to fix an appointment for you by tomorrow with one of their bar counselor officer, with one of their government accountants. They are giving you 4 documents regarding this case resolvement. Like one of this is like NOC certificates, a non-objection certificate. Second one is the receipt copy of your amount. Okay. And third one is the clearance certificates. Whatever the amount you are going to pay, each and everything will be clear, nothing will be pending. And the last and the fourth one is to deactivate your warrant certificates. That means your case has been resolved, your warrant has been deactivated, now nothing will be pending. Each and everything will be clear. And as well as our government accountant explaining you, like what kind of mistake you have done, okay, and when you did this mistake, so you are in your future, you are not going to repeat the same mistakes, and you're not facing this kind of trouble one more time. Okay?
Oh, okay. Well, shit, Robert, I've got some news. Hang on, Robert, just quickly. You told me I'm not allowed to tell anyone, right? Yeah, I think I might have just, I texted my dad and I told him that I stuffed up. Shit, what do? I shouldn't have told him, should I? You told me not to tell anyone. What do I do? Can I, like, how do I, shit, I'm so sorry, Robert. What do I do? I'm really, can you tell me how I can fix that? I'm so sorry.
Sorry?
I texted my dad and I told him what I'm doing. I mean, you told me not to tell anyone and I told someone. I mean, that means I'm in more trouble, right? You said I'm going to get arrested. No? I mean, what's going to happen? I broke one of your 3 rules.
Sir, then for that reason it's a penalty.
What's the penalty?
$2,000.
What's the penalty?
$2,000.
$2,000? Oh my god. So that's now like $6,994.35. Oh no. Shit, I need to go to Woolworths. I need to get this voucher done, don't I? Oh, Robert, gee, I'm so sorry. $2,000, wow. I really need to listen to you. Crap, alright. Let me just go to Woolworths. Sorry about this, Robert. I have a habit of telling people when I'm in trouble. You know, when I had that thing with the dog, I kind of told a few people, and then that's how I got arrested, so I don't want to go back to jail. Hang on a second, let me just go to Woolworths here. Does it have to be any, like, what do I do when I get to Woolworths? What do I say? I mean, I can't tell them. You told me I can't tell anyone, so what am I meant to ask them for? Hello?
Yes, go to the Woolworth.
But what am I meant to ask for? You said I've just got $2,000 fine for telling my dad.
I will guide you.
But-
Okay, I will guide you, don't worry. Just stay online with me. Just take a minute and go to the Woolworth.
But I don't understand what I'm meant to say if I'm not meant to tell people.
I will guide you, don't worry, okay? I will let you know what you need to do inside the store.
It's very, very
Go to the
concerning.
Woolworth,
Okay.
And then I will guide you.
Yeah, I'm going to the Woolworths. I'm just, it's very concerning to know that I get a $2,000 fine for a text message. I mean, you guys are very strict. I mean, you're doing your job very, very well. I mean, want to stop people like me who are doing these terrible scams. Terrible people who scam people, taking them out of their hard-earned money. I mean, gosh, who would do such a thing?
It's very hard money. It's very hard work.
It's hard work to scam. I wouldn't know. I mean, well, clearly I do. Clearly, huh? I've defrauded the tax department. I mean, I'm a scammer, aren't I? Gee, I'm incredibly sorry. All right, I'm just going to Woolworths now. It's just getting there. You must catch a lot of people doing this, Robert. I mean, you must be very fulfilling work to be able to catch all these people. No, you don't find it fulfilling or don't want to talk to me. That's all right. I'm sorry. It's very upsetting. All right, so when I get here into Woolworths, so I've got to ask for something at the counter. What do I have to ask for?
No, you don't need to ask anything. You just need to go to the prepaid card section or the gift card section, where is all the card available.
Okay.
Then I will guide you which card you need to pick up.
All right. So what does this card look like?
I will let you know. Don't worry. Okay, it's like normal card. It's a scratchable card.
All right. Well,
It look like a gift card. It's like about the gift cards are like this.
all right. Well, I'm nearly there now. So So what am I looking for here? The prepaid card section? Did you say?
Yeah, on prepaid card section or a gift card section.
Okay. So I'm looking at these cards now, and what one am I looking for?
You're in a store right now.
Yes, I am, sir.
Don't think. First of all, ask someone where is the gift card section.
I'm in front of the gift card section. I'm looking at them right now.
What kind of gift cards you are able to see?
Oh, I can see ones here for Woolworths. It looks like there's a Big W one here. I think that looks like a Bunnings one. Yeah, there's a whole different variety of ones here. Facebook one. Do I get a Facebook one, maybe? Or what do I get?
Like, which card you... No, just... like, what kind of card you are seeing more? Just check. More company.
Oh, mainly
More
Woolworths
companies
ones, Robert. I mean Woolworths. So lots of Woolworths ones here.
Not a Woolworth one.
Well, I don't know what I'm looking for. This is
Apple
what I need your
iTunes?
help with.
Have you seen the Apple iTunes over there?
A what one? Sorry, can you say that again?
Apple iTunes.
Yes, I see an iTunes one, yes. Do I get that one?
How much is the denomination of the card?
Oh, there's a $50 iTunes one here. Do I get a $50 one?
No, just go for the higher then.
$100 one? $100? Is that what you want?
Higher then, and then also they've also higher than the $100.
Oh, all I can see is $100 ones here, Robert. Should there be a higher one, or?
Yeah, should they have a higher one? Like they have a $500 one.
Yeah, hang on. No, there is a $500 one, yes. I can see a $500 one.
Okay, what is the amount? What is the amount written over there on the card? It's only $500, or it's a $10 to $500?
This one just says $500 on it.
This one is only $500, not $10 to $500.
No, just $500. That's the biggest one here I can see.
But it's written over there $10, then dash, then $500, right?
There's a $10 one here. Is there a separate one? Are you talking about on the same card? Because I can't.
No. The $500 one, okay. The $500 voucher, it's written on that voucher, $10 to $500. That means minimum you are able to upload $10.
Oh no, yes, no, you're right, Robert. No, sorry, I forgive me there. I've just got some tears. I can't see. Yeah, no, you're right. It does. That's what it says on the card. You're absolutely right.
Oh, so it's $10 to $500.
Yes.
Huh.
Is that a problem, or?
Can I speak with the storekeeper, please?
Can you what? Sorry.
I want to speak with the storekeeper.
The storekeeper. Oh.
Manager. Yeah, a store manager.
Okay. sure, I can find one. Just bear with me a second. Let me see if I can find. Hang on a second.
Yeah, just pass the phone. Yeah, just pass the
Who's the store manager here? Hello? Hello? Oh, hi. Yep, just hang on. Can you speak to this guy? Yep, alright. Thanks. Yeah, hello, this is Jim. Can I help you?
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm good. Who is this, mate? Sorry?
Jim, I'm the Robert.
How you going, Robert? What can I do for you?
Robert. Jim, I just need a voucher. Like, I just need a loading go voucher. Do you have a loading go?
Yeah, mate, I do. What do you want with it? What's this, like, what?
And give that, and I just need a the guy needs the $6,000 loading go voucher.
$6,000, mate. Bloody hell, you're buying a lot of bloody shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, you going crazy, bro. What?
Have you ever seen a 6,000? Have you ever seen a $6?
$6,000 bucks,
Have you
no.
ever seen a $6 in your life?
Oh, fucking oath, mate. No way. Mate, I'm a manager at Woolworths, mate. I'm lucky to see $60. Ha! You know what I mean? Ha!
Yeah, अच्छा आप हो गया. अरे एक मिनट wait. Have you ever seen the $6 together in your life?
Mate, I've barely seen...
Have you ever seen...
Mate, I've barely seen 6 cents. That's what I tell you.
6 cent?
No.
6 cent together in your life?
Fucking oath, no, mate. Ha!
चूतिया तुम्हारा चूतिया बनाया.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. Do you actually think that they believe that for a long period of time? There you go. That, my friends, is a scam. That's how you deal with it. You're welcome. I'm really hoping that they call me again because I do like playing with them, and I think that guy got a bit sick of it at the end, but clearly hung up on me, and that's the last I've heard from them since. Now, I'm going to press this button right now. It's that time of the week to play everybody's favourite game show. It's Forget the Lyrics! Here on the Brink on Edge Radio. Over to the studio. Get the lyrics, yay! Sadly, we don't have new ones for you this time around. We've had new ones the last couple of weeks, but back to playing some classic ones. We're going to do 3 for you this week. Why the hell not? Let's go back to 2013 and hear a solo one from myself. This was me singing to the Lady Gaga song Applause. And this is about the Wolf Brothers, our friends here on the show, and potentially changing their genre of music. I don't know why I do this to myself every week. Some of us have to be. Tom Wolfe decided he wanted to branch out. He said to Nick, let's go and sing about a spout. He said, I know something that people just wouldn't expect. It's some country rap to sing about, and it's gonna get you wet. It's so exciting to rap about country. I'm gonna rap around the tree and sing about free, because that's what the Wolf Brothers do now. Tom Wolfe is rapping in his songs. Tom wants to sing about things like women in streets and cars and stuff. He really wants to talk about that rap stuff, and he's in the ghetto in Hobart. In the ghetto in Hobart. I don't know where that is now. He's got to sing about living on the streets. Nick and Tom, their hard life, working from the roots and up and down and yep. Yeah, I don't think they actually have done that since that song. Anyway, going back to 2009 now, Josh did a duet with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because why not? This is Arms Wide Open by Creed, I believe, and singing about Kevin Rudd giving money. Here we go.
Well, I just heard the news today. Kevin Rudd's gonna give me money. I closed my eyes and began to think the many things that I could buy. The stimulus package giving me 900. was gonna be $9.50, now it's only $900, thanks to Malcolm. I don't know if I can get the money, 'cause I'm not Australian, I'm Austrian, American, the governor. I'll get my own money because I'm Arnie. In the moonlight, have rippling muscles, gonna show them off and have $900 from K-Rod. He owes it to me, shouted him at Burley's.
Bit of fun. And why not hear from another political figure, John Howard, in 2010, singing to Justin Bieber. That's about all you need to know about this one.
Oh, love this song. Whoa, 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 whoa. Got an earphone. Woo! Yeah! Earphone on me hip. Oh, I did me hip too. Oh, that's a bit old. Oh, here we go. You know you miss me from your prime ministership. I was the cool one. I was the fascisnit. I made you think lots about people. And then when it came to push and shove, I never said the S word. That guy Ratty bet me. He is a dud. He got beaten by Julia Gillard. Oh, look at that. It's so funny that people think that Mr. Abbott will be better on the brink. So I was like, Johnny, ooh, vote for Johnny. No, you're in the poo. Johnny, come back, because you're awesome to see. And why I'm on the brink is like my family. Oh, Johnny, you're not moving forward, because I'm backward and I'm Johnny, and I'm coming into your horde. And I like it on the brink, ooh, because that's what I do.
Yeah, you're loving these. I know you are. Let's move on to the next bit. Now, we always like to take moments to shamelessly plug our other shows. Obviously, the Oz Network, we've gone over a little bit in the last few weeks. But Survivor, season 35 has obviously started. Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. We do a weekly recap every week talking about Survivor. And we had our season 30 contestant, Dan Foley, very outspoken contestant, join us to do a recap last week. Now, just a bit of context here. Dan, I think, during his season was known for putting his foot in his mouth a little bit, and he infamously said in a confessional that he wished to slap another contestant, and that other contestant happened to be a woman, and there was a bit of a backlash around his comments. And another podcast, a Survivor-related podcast called Rob Has a Podcast, reacted to this by doing an emergency episode where they kind of got a bunch of females together to talk about sexism on Survivor. So we kind of brought this up slightly on this episode. Bit tongue-in-cheek. This is a few of those references compiled together of this episode of us playing into the hands of potentially an emergency episode having to need to be done after some of our comments said in this episode. With these four options, you can either kiss, slap, hug, or run away. And can I just warn you, remember, if you say you will slap a woman, Rob Has a Podcast will do an emergency episode. So just be careful.
I was just going to say, I'm not going to say that now. The hell? Oh, there's going to be an emergency podcast of women talking about the misogynistic questions on the Australian network. I mean, the Oz network. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Jesus.
So just pointing that out for you, Sasha, listening. Dan will not be slapping any women, because Robbie's a busy man. He doesn't need to do another emergency episode.
I would probably kiss her, because I think she'll slap me. Yeah, I'd go that road.
Yeah, okay. We'll do the opposite. We'll hold an emergency podcast for the slapping of the men, just to balance it out. 2017.
No, no one cares about that. It's all right.
No one
They're
cares
allowed
about
to hit
us
us.
either.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely spank. Does that count? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Is that?
Well, look, the slap can be moved downwards onto a rear end, which allows for appropriate slapping of a female. Does that's not a sentence I shouldn't say.
No,
you know what I mean.
that.
I said that,
would-
not Dan. I said that. Don't blame Dan.
Doesn't matter. It's still going to be my fault.
Put down the podcast
no.
plan, Rob. No emergency podcast needed. It's all good. I said it.
Step away from the emergency podcast button, Rob.
All right.
Relax, okay?
Calm down. Oh, well, that doesn't get talked about, does it? Only Ben failing the dangly challenge. Let's forget about our teammate who fucked up the fire challenge.
Listen, she's a woman. You're not allowed to say that now,
True.
okay?
Sorry,
That's
Rob. Put the
massage-
button
we're gonna
down.
have an
Emergency podcast. No.
We're going to
Stop
have
it.
an emergency podcast.
Stop it, Rob. No.
Here it comes.
Stop it, Rob. Put down the emergency button. It's fine. It's all good.
Put down the bat phone, okay? Do not call the women's brigade. Dear Lord. When you put forth impossible decisions, I'm going to go with spanking. So that's it.
Let's
I'm
be
going with
honest. That's
spanking.
the answer she was hoping for. She was like, "Come on, spanking."
I apologize, Lisa. Rob, don't have an emergency podcast.
Put it down, Rob.
Sorry.
Put it down.
Put the button down,
Put the
Rob.
button down, Rob. One thing I'll say is that Rob doesn't know we exist anymore. It's fine. But now on to Granny Survivor, otherwise known as Gran to me. Questions for this week, which she wrote down for me to send. Oh, at least she's not that sick. Hello, dears. I've fallen ill and unable to send in my weekly questions myself. I hope my dear granddaughter sent this in. Otherwise, I'm going to choke her.
That's it. Emergency podcast.
Right, no.
Protesting grannies everywhere.
Dear Rob Sestonino, you need to have an emergency podcast. Granny is choking her granddaughter.
Grannies. Against violence against granddaughters. Oh, the horror of it all.
Whoever this person is sending you this, you are the greatest. Oh my lord. Now
Oh shit, that's funny. Oh god.
it's the only time that sentence has ever been uttered on a podcast of ours, and it's not even due to anything to do with you or me or the guests, the listeners.
That's a good quote. That is a good
Females only.
quote.
Females only. If it's a male, you will create an emergency podcast.
Not allowed to. Not allowed to. That's right. There'll be emergency podcasts everywhere.
Yes, we'll do one for the sake of it. Richard, thank you.
Fucking emergency podcast.
Can we do just you and I
Richard,
do an
that was-
emergency podcast? We are at the end here, Dan, but thank you so much. Always a pleasure, mate, and best of luck with everything moving forward. And you know we're going to get you back on again, whether it's for the Ferris Bueller one or an emergency episode or just whatever we feel like.
Oh no, not an emergency podcast. Oh, put down the button. Jeez.
All in good fun, all in humour, and hopefully people can laugh at that along the way. Time to get out of here, folks. Close out for another episode. Back next week, of course, as always. The usual places where you can listen to us: iTunes, Stitcher. Make sure you do leave us some feedback. Rate us while you're there. Subscribe. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. YouTube as well, of course. But in the meantime, just also want to close out this episode by saying a big congratulations to Nathan Walker, who yesterday to be precise, Australian time, became the very first Australian to make it into the NHL. And we played several months back our interview that we did with Nathan several years ago. When he was just on the cusp of making the lineup for the Washington Capitals. And now he's finally managed to debut, and he scored a goal in his first debut match for the Capitals as well. So an outstanding achievement for Australian sport. I think this really needs to be talked up a lot more than it is. The very first Australian to play in the NHL, just such an incredible feat, considering we're a country of basically 20 ice rinks in the entire nation. For somebody to come from our country to go and make it into the biggest ice hockey league in the world. So big congratulations to Nathan. Obviously, we are sort of bit of ice hockey background here on the show, and I'm happy to say that we are looking at covering the Van Diemen's League playoffs starting in a few weeks' time. Obviously, people are probably thinking we've been a bit absent from that this year, but stay tuned for that. We're planning on doing it as we have previously, and hoping to cover, I think, our 7th consecutive or our 6th consecutive Tasmanian Ice Hockey League Grand Final in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. We'll have more news for that coming your way soon, and of course also possible announcement of Brink Unleashed as well, new one coming your way. So yeah, that's all for us. Another episode of The Brink. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Until then, keep sucking those oranges, Hobart, and good night.